Hello and welcome to African Farming Digital. Now, whether we like it or not, climate change is here, and farmers need to understand these conditions in order to adapt their farming practices to mitigate the risk. Joining me is Praveen Dwarika from Lemang Agricultural Services, and we're going to talk about climate change. We are at Vastfontein at Lemang Training Center. Praveen, thanks for having us.
You're welcome. Good to have you here again.
So Praveen, I want to know, what are the signs that farmers need to actually look out for when it comes to climate change in their farms?
Yeah, so I think one very obvious thing, Tavi, that we've seen is how the season has changed. So your planting window is moved on by at least between 4 to 6 weeks. Farmers that were preparing to plant maize, traditionally early September, suddenly find themselves planting end of September, early October. So we see that planting window has changed, but also we see dramatic weather pattern changing. We see harsh drought conditions, and then we see sudden flooding conditions. So these are all of the signs that are telling us there is a major shift in climatic conditions overall.
So now, what can farmers do in order to adapt to these changing conditions?
So there's a lot that we can do to become more climate smart insofar as farming is concerned. Living in denial and continuing with traditional farming practices will get us somewhere commercially, but I think from a long-term sustainability point of view, and given that agriculture is, it's a long play. So you've got to make sure that you're looking after the environment for future generations. So, it's small incremental things, the types of fertilizer that you use, how much of water are you using, how much of water can you save, and these are the small steps that farmers can take to make significant changes in the long term for future generations.
Now, going back to when you said the weather's changing dramatically and stuff, this is basically the tip of the iceberg. Well, no pun intended.
Sure.
So what are scientists and climatologists saying?
Well, it's going to get worse. We know about the overall temperature rise. So the average temperature, how that's gone up, and how literally, like you mentioned, the tip of the icebergs. We've seen how icebergs are melting. These are things that we can no longer deny. We're seeing it, we're living it, we're experiencing it. So unless we do something to stop that, greenhouse gas emissions, and reduce that as much as possible, we're going to find this becoming more something that we have to live with rather than something that we have to deal with. So I think it's time that we listen to the science.
Now, I see that you guys at Lemang are listening to the science. This new structure you guys have here, tell me more about it.
Yeah, so what we've done is, again, because we live in a water scarce country and we're farming in a water scarce area, we've decided that let's get smarter about the way we're using water. So using this system, we're able to prevent moisture loss, etc., but also improve productivity. But it's also a great way for our learners that come to the academy to experience this from a new type of farming, so that when they go back to their traditional farming methods, just that change in mindset, perhaps there's a way for us to do something differently.
And lastly, Praveen, what can farmers do to curb climate change?
Monitor your fertilizer use. So important statistic is we know that over the last few decades we've lost up to 50% of soil carbon, and we're trying to replace that with different types of fertilizer, etc. So we need to be conscious of that. Be mindful of using minimum tillage, zero till where you can. Try to preserve as much of the soil carbon as you can, and when you're using fertilizer, try to be using more natural options, natural solutions, biofertilizers as an example. Very importantly, when you're using chemicals, make sure that you're conscious about the effect that it could have negatively on the environment, on water sources that communities rely on. So it's these little things that farmers need to be cognizant but deliberate about it.
Praveen, thanks so much for your time.
You're very welcome, Tavi.
And there you have it. In order to secure a brighter future for everybody, we have to come together and come with good solutions. Thanks for watching African Farming. And as we always say, we farm better together.
Get your free copy of the African Farming magazine now at your nearest co-op and at africanfarming.com.
Cover for you and your family in the event of unforeseen misfortune. The African Farming Protector Plan offers you comprehensive funeral cover for your entire family plus extended family at an affordable cost. Our product also offers benefits such as monthly discounts on groceries, discounted bus tickets, ambulance services, and trauma and assault assistance, to name a few. For more information on the African Farming Comprehensive Funeral Plan, SMS African Farming to 45269 and get the peace of mind you deserve.